I would like to take this opportunity to welcome the speaker, participants, dignitaries to this two-day wireless sensor network workshop organized by IEEE Shreya Student Branch under Communication Society chapter. The dignitaries bring respected Principal Sai Satyanarayana Reddy sir, respected Professor B. Srinivasulu sir, ECHOD and Communication Society Faculty Advisor, Professor respected Sheikh Abdul Nabi sir, CSE HOD, respected Sridhar Reddy sir, Civil HOD, respected Uma Maheshwar sir, Mechanical HOD. I would like to welcome Principal Satyanarayana Reddy sir to speak a few words. Over to you.
Okay. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you're audible,
Sir,
sir.
good evening. You are
Yeah, yeah.
audible.
So, at the very outset, I would like to welcome Dr. Arjav Bhavra, sir, Associate Professor from Marwad University, to IEEE Student Branch of Shreyas Institute of Engineering and Technology. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Principal, sir. Thank
Yeah,
you, sir.
thank you, sir. So, and also I would like to congratulate IEEE Students Branch, Shreyas Student Branch uh, President Srija Reddy and Supraja and other team members for conducting such a wonderful workshop for 2 days on wireless sensor networks. So make all the participants who are participating in this 2 days program, please make best out of this workshop, and especially I think ECE and CSE students. I think it's very much useful for you in doing some research activities and publications in this area. So WSN is very important. Maybe your Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or Zigbee. I think all of you are well versatile with this. I think these 2 days workshop, please, all these technologies, I think you will be knowing in depth and clarify all your doubts with the resource persons and learn all these technologies and thoroughly get some good sound knowledge that will be helpful for you for the good publications and research work. And thank you, HOD of ECE, Dr. Srinivas sir, for
Good evening, sir.
conducting good evening, for conducting such a 2 days workshop. And all the best, students, and be happy learning and happy doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your insights. For sure, we'll try to make it a very successful workshop, sir. Now, I would like to welcome Professor B. Srinivasulu, sir, to speak a few words.
Very good evening to one and all. The respected Principal, sir, Dr. S. Sai Satyanarayana Reddy, sir, Principal and Professor of CSE Shreyas Institute of Engineering and Technology. And today's speaker of the event, Dr. Arjo Bhavara, sir, Associate Professor at Marwadi University. Welcome, sir. Welcome to the Shreyas Institute of Engineering and Technology. And I congratulate all the student coordinators and the chairperson of IEEE student branch Shreyas Srija Reddy, and the Communication Society chair and the student coordinators and all the participants. Very nice, and wish you all the best. Happy learning. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable words. The wireless communication revolution is bringing significant changes in data networking and telecommunications, as well as making integrated networks a reality. Personal communications networks and cellular systems, by liberating the users from the cable, hold the promise of completely dispersed mobile computers and communications at any time from any location. Now, I extend my greetings to Speaker Dr. Ajit Bhavarwa sir on behalf of IEEE Shreya Student Branch and Shreyas Institute of Engineering and Technology. We all know how valuable time is in our techno-festival world, so let's continue. Srilata, it's over to you.
Today, we are pleased to welcome Dr. Ajay Babarwasa, Associate Professor at Marwadi University, worker at Southern Star Window, Australia. Dr. Babarwa has teaching experience of more than 7 years and 2.5 years of industrial experience. He is interested towards the research field of wireless communication system and wireless sensor network. During his academic career, he delivered 5 national level workshops as an expert speaker, organized 6 national level workshops, and participated in 21 national workshops. He's working as a reviewer for many international conferences and editor in UGC approved journal. He has received second prize in Young Scientist Conference, and he's also recognized as a bronze partner faculty under Inspire 2018. And today, he will share his views on wireless sensor networks. Sir, over to you.
Thanks for the introduction, Principal Sir, respected HOD Sir, the entire team, IEEE Shreya Student Chapter, and dear audience. Thanks for the introduction, and thanks for involving me to be a member of this entire family. So without wasting much time, let's start the session. Otherwise, we won't be able to complete the entire session because the wireless sensor network is a huge area, and I think your expectation is somewhat to go towards the research side. And I was told that most of the students are from undergraduates, right? So we need to start from the scratch. Right? Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
This is the tentative schedule that I have made as per the conveyed message, right? If participant can means if you feel that you want to modify something, any topic, then we can do the modification tomorrow, because today I think I have covered all the things. But in between also, if in case if you want to change any topic tomorrow or today itself later on, then we can change it, no problem. So let's see the tentative schedule first. Day one, that we are going to cover the basics and the introduction and the basic concepts of wireless sensor network. We will see the various applications where wireless sensor network that is used in different domains. Then we'll go for design issues, like if you want to design wireless sensor network, what could be the designing points that we need to keep in our mind, and what are the challenges that we need to face, we need to cover. Right? Then we'll go for wireless sensor network components. So we'll go in depth that what are the components that is used for wireless sensor network, and we'll see the configuration and specification also. Right? Tomorrow we are going to cover wireless sensor network protocols. Now here we'll try to cover almost all the protocols which is widely famous. Otherwise, it's a very huge topic. In almost all the layers, in layered and every layer, a lot of research has been done, and still it is going on. So we'll try to touch upon the famous protocols on each and every layer which is widely used, so that if you have that idea about those protocols, then you can do some minor modification and you can come up with your own protocol in future if you want. Right? Then we'll go for the implementation of wireless sensor network. I will demonstrate you how you can implement the wireless sensor network. Again, this is a small wireless sensor network we can form, you can make by your own, right? Implementation can be done by your own. It could be your BTech project, and you can get the results also for the same, right? And then at the end, we'll go for the simulators, many simulators that is widely used in this domain. And most of the people in their research work, like dissertation and PhD work, they use this kind of reliable and huge simulator that is more reliable and which gives the exact result that is that we get in real life. So these simulators are also widely used. So we'll just discuss a couple of simulators too, and at the end we'll go for question answer. But if in case in between, if you want to ask any question, feel free to stop me in between. You just drop your question in a chat box. Our moderator student team will stop me, and we will solve that problem or question in between the session also, no problem. So if we talk about the objectives of the workshop, or objectives of this 2 days workshop are to understand and analyze the working principle of wireless sensor network, and we'll also be able to analyze the various protocols that is used for wireless sensor network, and we'll also be familiar with the recent research work. Right. So I will start from the scratch, and I'll make you free in a research domain so that you can move further and you can start your research work. If we talk about the outcome of this workshop, at the end of this workshop, the participants will be able to understand the exact core concepts of wireless sensor network, right? Will be able to design and analyze wireless sensor network as per the applications, and you can also implement the projects, and you will be able to do the simulation in wireless sensor network domain. So whenever we talk about wireless communication, you might have heard this kind of names like Wi-Fi, wireless fidelity. That is the next one is cellular communication or mobile communication, WiMAX, RF, IR, right? Free space optics, FSO. That is wireless optical communication, right? And NFC, near field communication, then ultra wideband, Bluetooth, and we are getting a different versions of all these things also, like Bluetooth 3, Bluetooth 4.0, like that, RFID, radio frequency identification, and Zigbee. So you might have heard all these names somewhere somehow, because many of us, we are using this technology also on commercial base, right? So these are the various communication standards, we can say, that is available with us now, and it is very famous. And in fact, we are using, and a lot of research work also is going on to improve again and again. Right? And when we talk about wireless sensor network, right, these are the standards that we just talked about, or you can say techniques, right? But if we talk about wireless sensor networks, then you might have heard the name like wireless sensor network, ad hoc wireless network, right? And VNet, vehicular ad hoc wireless network, WPN, wireless personal area network, wireless metropolitan area network, WAN, wide area network, wireless local area network, MANET, mobile ad hoc wireless network, BAN, body area network, FANET, flying object or flying ad hoc wireless network, and wireless multimedia sensor network. Now in this one, in these networks, I think many words will be unknown to you, right? Like FANET or VANET or wireless multimedia sensor network, right? But I would say that if you understand the wireless communication properly, or ad hoc wireless network, that is in centric of all these networks. So if you know ad hoc wireless network more in detail, it is very easy to understand any upcoming or any new upcoming network technology, right? So we will see one by one what are the actually the meaning of this one. The VNet is a vehicular ad hoc wireless network. That means in future we'll have intellectual cars, or you can say smart vehicles, that will have transceiver module and many other devices that is installed in that one, processors and controller and everything, so that communication between the cars will be possible. Many companies, they start working on that one, and on commercial based platform also it is available. But in near future we'll have the common practice in all the vehicles. Similarly, FANET, we'll see the graphical in the next slide somewhere. Right? FANET means flying ad hoc network. That means when the helicopters or any aeroplane, they are moving with the speed of light, right? At that time, the communication, normal regular communication, is quite difficult, almost next to impossible, because the glitches in communication is normal, right? So what we can do, when the multiple flying objects, they are flying together, so relative speed of motion will be very less, right? And if we make a network of those flying objects only, then the proper communication between those flying objects will be very easy. So those kind of network, that is known as FANET, flying ad hoc network. One more thing that I haven't covered here, and that is also very famous, but it is not wireless, so I didn't put it here. That is underwater wireless communication. Underwater communication. So if you want to go for that one, then also it's a huge scope over there, right? And wireless multimedia sensor network. Wireless sensor network, we all know. Just a brief introduction, we know. And if you don't know, we are going to cover that thing. But wireless multimedia sensor network is something new that we are going to transmit multimedia data like still images, audio, video file, and all these things on sensor network. Now you might have an idea that when we talk about wireless sensor network, the energy and the bandwidth, that is a constraint. The bandwidth is very low, but still we're able to manage on this by using very narrow bandwidth. We are able to transmit this multimedia data. So the researchers are working hard on this wireless multimedia sensor network also. Right? Personal area network means the coverage area is very small in personal area network. So the distance wise or coverage area wise sensor network, each sensor node is having very limited coverage area. Right? We'll see all these things in graphical manner just in today's lecture only, today's session. Right? But here I would like to mention that many times when student select any project or MTech dissertation, they just say that I want to do some project on Bluetooth, or for example I want to do some project in RFID base, or for example I want to do some project on so and so base. Now you should not choose these technologies like that, or protocols or standards or network like that, right? All these standards are having its own importance, right? And if you can compare all these things, the few things will be very similar, or you can say on some basic points you can differentiate these techniques. Like the first one is operating frequency, second one is power consumption, the third one is the bandwidth, fourth one is coverage area. So these are, or the fifth one is data rate. So these are the basic points that you need to keep in your mind. What type of application you want, what type of requirement that you are looking for. On the basis of that one, you need to select any one of those wireless communication standard. Like for example, if you are looking for high speed data rate and in a near field communication, like then you can go for NFC or Bluetooth, right? Or you can go for ultra wideband. Again, in between these three, we'll have different frequency, data rate, and coverage area is slight different, but almost coverage area is very similar to each other. Right? If you want to go for in terms of few meters communication, like 100 meter or 200 meter, and you are not looking for high data rate, means your requirement is not that much, you just want to send the signal, few bytes you want to send, right? Then Zigbee is a preferable solution, right? Similarly, first of all, you need to understand all these standards and networks, or I would say standards first, right? And on the basis of all these points and standards comparison, you can choose any one of the standard as per your requirement of the project. Let's start the introduction of the wireless sensor network. If we see this a bigger picture of wireless sensor network, mostly wireless sensor network is used to monitor and sometimes monitoring and controlling some targeted area. Like here in this figure, right hand side, you can see this area that is marked here with this cream color. Say for example, this is our targeted area that we want to cover. Now here you can do the monitoring or controlling with the help of wireless sensor network. So how actually the wireless sensor network works? In this targeted region, you can deploy multiple sensor nodes, right? So these are white color round circles that you are seeing right now in this image. That is actually wireless sensor nodes, right? Now, how to deploy? Deploy means how to place these wireless sensor nodes into the monitoring area or coverage area. For that one, we are having a different methods. like you can place randomly, you can deploy it with an equal distance, you can deploy in terms of exact row and column like grid wise, right? So there are many different varieties that we are having to deployment of the sensor node. Second thing is these nodes may be stationary, may not, right? So this node can move, they can change the position. Now when mobility comes into the picture, everything that is changed, right? Each and every layer, protocol, the topology and everything will change. It will become a dynamic. There is no any fixed or stationary network. So the environment becomes more challenging. But still, researchers will be managed to that one, right? So we'll see how we can do all these things, how we can manage these things, right? Now, second thing, these nodes, when you deploy it, these nodes will be connected with the sensor. As the name is given, sensor nodes, right? So these are actually nodes. These nodes will be connected with some sensor. Now it will be connected with which type of sensor? That depends on what type of application you want to build. For example, if your requirement is that you want to monitor the temperature of the soil or temperature of the place, right? Or if you want to monitor the humidity of the soil, or example, for example, in big hospital, there are many patients are there, more than 200-300 patients are there. So frequently we need to measure the SpO2 level or many other readings we need to take, right? So right now in most of the hospital, I would say this task has been done manually. The nurse, we take a visit regularly, and they go in one by one in a room, and they meet to the patients, and they just take a reading, and they check whether everything is okay or not. But instead of that one, if you could have wireless sensor network, then you can do an arrangement such that in one single monitoring room, um, all this data of coming from different patients or different patient rooms, for example, SpO2 level that is coming from different patients, right? It will be displayed on the control room, right? So if you have such kind of arrangement in the hospital, then only 1 or 2% they can do the monitoring in entire hospital. Second thing is, if you do so, then immediately you can come to know if something goes wrong. For example, you can make a programming that SpO2 level, if it goes to below 90, or for example below 92, then it gives alarm, or it gives the red light blinking or something like this, right? So as per your need, as per your expectation, you can do all these things. So immediately the patients get the treatment. Second thing is, you won't need to be a reliable on the person, right? And third thing is, it becomes very easy, right? So this is one of the example I got, I gave it to you. So I would say that all these sensor nodes will be connected with the sensor. Now this is not our topic, that what type of sensor it is connected. It, as I said, it is as per your requirement. You can connect any sensor node here, right, as per your requirement. But after that one, after sensor, once the sensor gives the data to this sensor node, right, what will happen? That backbone network will be common. That I am going to cover that backbone part, or you can say the exact sensor network common generic design and implementation part I'm going to touch upon in this 2 days workshop, right? So I will start from here, like from sensor node to sink, right? Now sink is nothing but it's a kind of central device, or it's a node that gathers the data from all these nodes, right? Second thing is, these nodes will have very limited coverage area. In terms of coverage area, these nodes are not having too much large coverage area. Hardly it may have few feet or few meters. And again, it depends on what type of sensor node you are taking. right? So what will happen? These nodes cannot do communication directly with the sink, right? So what they have to do, they need to do the multi-hop communication. This is known as multi-hop communication, as you can see on the diagram. Like for example, sensor node A that is sending the data to B, B will forward the data to C, C will forward that data to D, and D will forward the data to E, and ultimately it will be received by the sink. So this remaining in between these nodes, they are actually just routing the data. They are just getting the information and they are just forwarding it. Actual data that is generated by node A. So these intermediate nodes B, C, D, and E, they will work as a router, right? And in this environment, the job of the routing protocol, or you can say the network layer, it becomes so important, right? Because the topology is not fixed, means nodes may have mobility, right? The energy level could be different, right? And there are many other issues. So as per this one, by seeing all these things, you need to come up with the route, final destination, right? So this is how all the sensor nodes send the data to the sink, right? So sink, sometimes it is also known as coordinator, sometimes it is also known as gateway, right? So it's the same thing, these are just similar names. So sink or gateway or coordinator, and in entire network you will find only single sink. There cannot be more than one sink, right? And this entire, all these sensor nodes also can be divided into further clusters, or you cannot divide these nodes in a cluster. So there are different mechanism also available. So how we can monitor this entire our targeted area. Now, once all this data has been gathered at sink, if you are capable to connect this sink with the internet, right, or satellite, but most of the time we use the internet, not satellite, because our work has been done using internet, because nowadays internet is almost spreaded everywhere in the world, right? So if you could have managed, or if you are able to manage to communicate this sync with the internet, that means from anywhere in the world, user can do the monitoring as well as controlling of this network, right? This is a bigger picture of wireless sensor network. We can take a question. If you have any question, we can discuss, or we can move further. Any questions so far? Any questions so far?
No, sir, no question.
Okay, thank you. So this is all about wireless sensor network, bigger picture, right? Now let's look at the basic concepts of wireless sensor network. So as I said before also, the wireless sensor network, actually it is not the exact subset, but a few parts are overlapped. As you can see here in this diagram, this red color ring that shows the ad hoc wireless network, right? And this cyan color ring that shows the wireless sensor network. That means both these things are not exact same, but few portion is very similar in between ad hoc wireless network and wireless sensor network. Now ad hoc network can have two category. Ad hoc wired network is also possible, and ad hoc wireless network is also possible. Ad hoc stands for ad hoc means the temporary base, the network that you are creating, right? And if it is wired based, then it is known as ad hoc wired network. If it is wireless, then it is known as ad hoc wireless network. Clear? So, and if we know the ad hoc wireless network, its designing issue, the protocols that is used for ad hoc wireless network, then it will be easy to understand the wireless sensor network. Right? Then and then you can understand that why this existing protocol of ad hoc networks, or why the existing protocol of computer networks that we already most of the students might have studied, right? Why those protocols cannot be used directly for wireless sensor network? Why we require different protocols for different networks, right? So if you know this theory much in detail, then and then you can work on that one, and you can come up with the new protocols as per the need of this whole networks. So let's talk about the basic points, or you can say the concepts that we cannot forget, we cannot miss when we talk about wireless sensor network. The first point is density. That means the how many nodes that you deploy per area, right? So density is quite high for wireless sensor network compared to ad hoc networks, and sometimes means on an average, roughly you can say sometimes it is 20 nodes per meter by meter by meter cubic area, right? So in many applications, wireless sensor nodes, they are deployed in 3D structure also. So that's why it is written meter cube, right? So now you can imagine that these sensor nodes are having a very, very limited coverage area, right? Second point is it is prone to failure. Means the failure of sensor nodes, it is very common in wireless sensor network. Right? And when any sensor node is having some problem, and when any sensor node is dying or getting failed, then that coverage area will be uncovered. Means you will not get the information from those target area. So that thing is known as blanked area, right? Or uncovered region, right? So our expectation is we should be able to manage such that all the nodes will be alive, right? And there is no any dark or uncovered region takes place in entire monitoring area. Right? The next point is topology changes very frequently, right? Because nodes may have mobility, and because of the mobility, topology gets changed. Topology is nothing but the connection between the nodes. That connection could be either physical or logical, or it could be both. Right? Topology means not only the physical connection, but the logical connection also. That means many times the IP address that is given incorrect, and physically you are connected with the network, but still you are unable to use the network, right? Why it is so? Because physically you are connected, but logically you are not connected with the proper way into the network. So the topology means either physical or logical connection, or it could be both, right? So it changes very frequently in ad hoc wireless network, as well as it is keep changing in ad hoc wireless sensor network also. So it's a common point between both these things. Next point is very, very important. It is highlighted with the red color. It is having limited power, computing capacities, and memory. Now, whenever we talk about wireless sensor network, we must keep in our mind that these nodes are having very limited energy, battery backup or power, right? And once you start consuming that power or battery or energy, it is not having, or node doesn't have the power supply. So once your energy gets down, or once your node is dry, or it's having no backup, battery backup, or it's over, energy is over, that means that node is going to die, right? Because you are not having that provision that you can give some battery backup or charging supply, power supply you can provide to those nodes, right? And you cannot even think for the natural resources also, like solar panel or windmill or something like this. The reason is that one, that the sensor nodes are having very limited or very small in size, and if you do such kind of provision, then the node of the size of the node that increase, right, and it is not fitted into the application. So because of this point, each and every layers we are having a challenge. Because of this point only, we cannot use the protocols that is used for ad hoc wireless network or computer networks, right? In computer network or ad hoc wireless network, we don't have any limitation in terms of power consumption, in terms of computational capacity, right? Now computational capacity, when I use this word, that means the process of communication that happens on the node. And if you keep more and more process, that means your energy consumption will increase, right? So you need to keep all this point into the consideration. And the third point is memory also, right? The size of the memory, that also does matters, because if you are having a huge size, then to read the memory, to write the memory operation, that consumes some more operation machine cycles, and your energy consumption will increase. So we are going to calculate the power, or you can say energy, of each and every bit, each and every machine cycle. And that is the reason that we are having a special uh, processors, or you can say controllers, for specially designed for wireless sensor network, right? Regular controllers we cannot use for professional wireless sensor network, right? This point is very important, and because of this point only, all the layers, all the protocols that we need to change for this wireless sensor network. And the last one is, it may not means, it means the wireless nodes may not have global ID, right? If you need to give the address to the nodes, you cannot give the public IP address, because there are many nodes globally or in your network also. So, but obvious, you cannot give the public IP address to each node. Yes, you can give the public IP address to the sink. That is only one IP address for entire network. This is the main points that we did the comparison for ad hoc wireless network and wireless sensor network. Now, if we go much in depth about the comparison, right, let's look at this table. Here we have done the comparison between three networks, like ad hoc wireless networks, wireless sensor network, and wireless multimedia sensor network. As I explained before, wireless multimedia sensor network means data type may be image or audio or video file. Here in wireless sensor network, data type is a kind of signal only, or a few bytes. Ad hoc networks, data may be bigger in size compared to wireless sensor network, right? And it may be even huge than wireless multimedia sensor network. So let's see the criteria wise comparison between all these three networks. If we talk about the node size, the size of the node is very large, or it may be large in ad hoc wireless network, right? It is very small in wireless sensor network, and it will be small, right, in between wireless sensor network and ad hoc network in wireless multimedia sensor network, because you need to add, sometimes you may need to add camera or mic or such kind of devices that you need to connect with the sensor node. That's why the size of the node will be bigger in wireless multimedia sensor network. Next criteria is node density. The node density means number of nodes per meter by meter by meter area, right, or per unit area. So the density is very low for ad hoc wireless network, right? It is a very high in wireless sensor network, and it is medium in wireless multimedia sensor network. Now, the density and coverage area is quite depend to each other, right? The density, when you require high density, when you are having a very low coverage area, right? Then and then all the nodes will be connected with each other and they can do the communication. So wireless sensor network is having very low coverage area, right? And that's why it requires a high density, right? You can compare second row and third row, right? And the coverage area is medium in wireless multimedia sensor network and ad hoc wireless network, right? That might be in terms of few meters. Okay. If we talk about data type, I just started with this table with the data type. Again, let's go with that one, right? The data size or data type might be huge, like audio files, video files, other information in ad hoc wireless network. The data type is very small, not very small, yeah, but we can say small, like it's just a signal. Like most of the time, technically, it is known as scalar data type, right? The scalar data type means, for example, like temperature, humidity, or fire sensor, or pressure sensor, or voltage, current, these kind of sensors that give the output, right? So data type, that is a scalar, that means it requires very low bandwidth, right? Again, the row 3 and row 4, the next criteria, that is connected. So if your data type is not too much high, then you require a low bandwidth, right? So sensor network, wireless sensor network, that requires low bandwidth. Ad hoc wireless networks, that requires large bandwidth, right? Huge bandwidth it requires. And wireless multimedia sensor network, it's a medium, right? That is actually one of the biggest challenge in wireless multimedia sensor network, that how you can manage that a huge data, or you can say this multimedia data transmission over the limited bandwidth or narrow bandwidth. The next point is congestion control algorithm. You must require, or there is a major role of congestion control algorithm in wireless multimedia sensor network and ad hoc wireless network. The reason is that one, because the nodes are generating huge data type, right? The data type is huge, and you require large bandwidth. So the congestion occurs very frequently, and you must need to manage the congestion, otherwise the communication creates a problem, and you are unable to do the proper communication between transmitter and receiver, or source to destination, or host to host, right? So the congestion control algorithm is a must, or it plays a vital role in design point of view for ad hoc wireless network and wireless sensor network, wireless multimedia sensor network. But you don't require a very strong or special congestion control algorithm for wireless sensor network, because here the data type is very small, right? You are dealing with just few bytes, right? So in this session also, you will find a very less, or in fact almost negligible protocols that is working on congestion control for wireless sensor network, right? But yes, in terms of MAC layer, or you can say data link layer, and network layer, the wireless sensor network requires novel protocols that we will see later on stage. And if we talk about power consumption, right, the power consumption is, we are expecting very low power consumption in wireless sensor network, because we are unable to charge those sensor nodes, right? So power consumption must be very low in wireless sensor network. It should be low for wireless multimedia sensor network, right? And it's okay if you don't talk about power consumption for ad hoc wireless network, because in most of the ad hoc wireless network, we have the power backup for wireless sensor nodes, So this is the entire comparison, or almost all the criteria so far I discussed for wireless sensor network. Any question before we go for wireless sensor network applications? Any question?
Sir, can I get any insights about TCP Reno?
TCP Reno we can cover if you want, but TCP Tahoe, Reno, these are the TCP protocols widely used for our regular computer networks, or you can say ad hoc networks. There is no huge role for this Reno or Vegas or New Vegas or this kind of transport layer protocols in wireless sensor network.
Thank you, sir.
Participants are allowed to send the message in chat box.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think there is no more questions so far, right? Okay. Let's go for the various applications of wireless sensor network. Few of the application I already covered. We'll go for many other applications
Sir,
of wireless.
sir, there is a doubt from chat box.
Yes, please.
Ms. Saujanya
Yes,
Lakshmi is asking, can we apply this wireless transmission for electricity transfer? Can we apply wireless transmission for electricity transfer?
Yeah, I got the question. Now, still it is not commercially available. Yeah, it is available, but for a very limited range, very limited distance, with a very limited distance, right? Now here, these are the actually wireless sensor networks are such kind of examples. For example, where you cannot go physically frequently, right? Where main people cannot go there and can recharge the nodes. Let me give you a few examples. Like for example, if you want to deploy the network on the Mount Everest, right? Now for those places, for such kind of places, you cannot go there and you cannot back up the power to the nodes. In many applications, we need to deploy the sensor nodes using helicopters and planes. Means we need to throw, literally we need to deploy the sensor nodes in targeted area. So these are the rigorous applications of wireless sensor network, right? So how you can, in this such kind of application, how you can think over it for a wireless backup transmission or charging thing. You got my question? So actually, in short, it is next to impossible to use that wireless transmission charging mechanism for wireless sensor network. Have you got your satisfactory answer? Did you understand what I said?
She said yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Any other question? Then we'll go for applications of wireless sensor network.
No other questions so far, sir.
Thank you. So let's see a few more wireless sensor network applications such that you will have a clear-cut idea about the wireless sensor networks and its complexity. For example, if you want to monitor the place of any wild animal in sanctuary or in a huge jungle, right, then you can deploy the sensor nodes on the body of the animal, right, and those will send the location, like the location sensor, or you can say the GPS kind of system that will be connected with the sensor node. So the exact location of the animal, or you can say the node, that will be given to the node, and node will send that location to the sink. So this is how you can come to know the exact destination of any animal, or you can say sensor node. Right? So this is one of the application of wireless sensor network. Second thing is, as I already told you, it may be widely used in agriculture. In foreign countries, people are already using this one. Right? We just started rarely in India, but in many foreign countries, this kind of applications are already deployed or people are using on commercial platform. As for example, moisture sensor or humidity sensor that will be connected with the soil, right, and that sensor gives the data to the sensor node, and in that manner sink will gather the information about the humidity of the soil from targeted area, right, and on the basis of that one, actually sink or gateway person can control the showers, right? So you can do the watering in the plant as per your requirement. You can make it automatic also, but in many and this kind of control can be done from remote place also, right? If we look at the another application, the wireless sensor network in a smart home, right? If there is a motion sensor, then light will start, and for example, you can monitor the thing also, right? For example, if you are at the remote place and if you want to see whether the motion has been done or not, so such kind of entire sensor network you can deploy in your home if your home size is quite big, right, and you can do the monitoring and controlling from remote place. Here there is one more example, like as I said, SpO2 level, ECG or EEG, or in this kind of readings you can get it, and these readings will be sent to your family doctor, right? So this kind of application is also possible. This is very interesting. You can deploy this kind of sensor network for bridge, right? As we all know that we already studied in the physics that when this kind of bridge that vibrates with the resonant frequency, then it may get fall down, right, and disaster may occur, accident may occur, right? So you can deploy the sensor nodes with the at the hinges side, right, and a vibration sensor you can attach with the sensor nodes. If you can do the programming that if the vibration occurs greater than with this frequency, then that gives the signal to the sink, right, and on the basis of that one, sink can take an action, like sink can ring the alarm, or sink can blink the light, or such kind of action you can take it. So this mechanism, that is not just a story, right? It is not just the concept. In foreign countries, many bridges are having this kind of sensor networks already they deployed, right? This is very important and very interesting also. In many industries, we found that hazardous gas, many pipes, they carry the hazardous gas, right? And if any pipes that is leakage or something goes wrong, then sometimes it happens that people or worker may not have enough time even to evacuate the to vacate that place, right? So, and sometimes they come to know later on that the gas leakage happens. So at that places where these gases are very hazardous to the human life, we can deploy this kind of sensor nodes, and you can attach the gas sensor with these nodes. So if the gas sensor senses the gas leakage, immediately it generates a signal, right? And it transmit to the sink. And on the basis of that one, as per your programming, your sink can ring the alarm, something like that. Once the alarm rings, all the people can evacuate the place, can vacate the place. So this is very interesting and very helpful application. One more application like this, that for example, if you are having a bushfire, right? Now this is a very serious issue in many countries like America, Australia. In India, we don't have that much of big problem, but in few countries where there is a huge dense jungle area, right, forest area, at that places this bushfire is a very serious issue. I have heard and I have seen from the very far end that this bushfire is spreading with the speed of 120 kilometer per hour speed. That means, can you imagine? That means the speed of the car that you are moving sometimes on the highway, that is 120 kilometer per hour. With that speed, the fire that is spreading into the forest area, right? And many people, literally many villages, that is burned out in just few minutes. So we can deploy the wireless sensor nodes, right? And literally I have seen personally that many people are having a job that they have to monitor the jungles with the binocular, that whether is there any bushfire or not, right? And if it is there, immediately they inform to the team, right? And the entire team that comes with the helicopters and everything just to stop that fire. So it's one of the biggest challenge that many people in many countries they are facing. So we can do that. We can deploy the wireless sensor node at that places, and once this kind of activity occurs, right, those wireless sensor nodes they inform to the sink. So at the middle of the night also, if something goes wrong, right, immediately we can come to know what is the problem. So all these things or such kind of events where a human or the monitoring done by the people, sometimes it doesn't give the exact result, or it doesn't work as per our expectation, right? So if we deploy this kind of wireless sensor network, then it helps it fulfill our expectations. In medical also, as I give the example, one of the example that you can monitor many patients, right, very easily by just sitting at the one place. Second thing is this kind of emergency situation also can be taken care with the help of wireless sensor network. Like for example, if any emergency case occurs, right, immediately it can be informed to the respective employee or staff like nurse or doctor, right? and if they need any more blood or something like that from other place, then they can inform, they can do the communication at backhand side. So you won't need to do too much activity. Your network will do all the activity, majority of the activities at the backhand side, right? Many times when athlete people, they do some exercise, right, frequently with the uh, when they do very heavy exercise, at that time we need to check different uh, body readings, like what is the heart rate, what is the oxygen level, ECG level, and all these things, right? So all this data can be routed to the center point. And as you can see, as I already explained, once that data that is gathered with the sync, that if you are able to connect this sync with the internet, then you can do the monitoring and controlling from anywhere in the world. Very interesting applications in defense also, right? In US, in India also, we are using a very hi-fi technology in terms of wireless sensor network. Our army is using that. With the help of this kind of wireless sensor network, or wearable devices, or you can say wireless nodes that is connected with the soldiers, and we can track, we can monitor the location of each and every soldier. You might have seen in the movie like Uri or any other Hollywood movies also, right? So these are not actually the concepts anymore. Everything that is realized with the help of these advanced networks and protocols and standards, right? The different vehicles, they can do the communication, right? They can establish their own communication. If they use the common or public channel, then easily someone can track that, right? But if they have their own private network, then security gets increased, right? Here at the left hand side, top left corner, you can see that flying objects, they are having a network that is represented by a dotted line, red color dotted line. That means all these objects are having a connectivity, and they create the network. As I was explaining before, this is one of the example of FANET, flying ad hoc wireless network. Clear? Any question or any application that you come in your mind that if we come up with this kind of application, then it would be great? Or can we do this kind of application with the help of wireless sensor network or not? Do you have any question or any idea about that? We can discuss on that if you have.
Sir, can these wireless sensor networks replace human power in mines and all?
That means I don't get the question exactly.
I mean, there are mines like granite mines or coal mines and all.
Oh yeah, mines. Yes, it is there. Actually, thanks for reminding me. This is the one of the best application of wireless sensor network. The reason behind that one is, in the mines underground, many type of network connectivity is zero, right? When you go underground, right, you will not have the proper mobile network, or you will not have proper Wi-Fi connection, or you will not have many kind of wireless signals. But if you deploy your wireless sensor network, right, easily, yes, you can implement this kind of application also.
Thank you, sir.
Any other question or any other idea that where we can deploy the wireless sensor network? See, we discussed a few applications, but you will find many applications when you think over it, right? And you should not think like that where the wireless sensor network will be useful. You need to think that you need to observe in your surrounding region that what the problem the people are facing, right? As an engineer, if you observe, if you could observe and if you do the analyze that what type of problems that the society or people are facing, right, and you are also already having this kind of knowledge, right, then you can map the thing that to solve this problem, what type of technology, what type of network, what type of communication protocols or standards or network can I use. So this is how you can come up with any solution or the project. Don't think that what is the application of wireless sensor network. No, think that what is the problem and whether this problem can be solved by this wireless sensor network, right? Then and then you will be able to do the exact problem solving for the society. So we'll take just a couple of minute break, right? Just 2 minutes or so, right? Then we'll move forward for wireless sensor network design issue. Is it okay?
Sure, sir.
Just a 2 minute, not more than that. I'm here only.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So before we resume, there is one more doubt in the chat box.
Okay.
It's from A. Karthik. He asked that can we use it in underwater application in larger scale?
Okay. Underwater communication in larger scale means what? In terms of covering large area in underwater or dense network in underwater? Actually, yes, it is possible in both the manner. You can deploy large network in terms of coverage area as well as density wise, right? You might have seen balloon kind of thing that is just on the surface of the sea somewhere, if you might have observed, right? We are using that thing already. We are using that thing, the sensor nodes that will be on the surface of the water in a sea, right? So actually that is not the underwater, but it is ad hoc wireless network, you can say, or you can say it is one of the example of wireless sensor network. So that balloon will be there on the surface of the water so that you can do the communication wirelessly. And in sea, many times in terms of distance, it is a quite big challenge for wireless transmission, right? But still the researchers are capable to get the connectivity for more than 30, 40, 50, 60 kilometers even. That is known as sonar. I have visited once INS Valsura. Here in Gujarat, we are having a naval ship base. It's very famous and one of the big base, we can say, because people or soldiers from across the India and from many other countries as well, they come here for the training. So I visited once, and yes, they were doing some experiment, and I'm talking about long way back in 2000, maybe 13 14. At that time he was able to get the connectivity successfully for 30 meters, and I personally have seen that setup. That is known as sonar, right? The technique is known as sonar. Actually, that is underwater communication. If you want to go for underwater communication, the concept becomes completely different, and you need to deal with the acoustic waves. Any other question?
No, sir.
Thank you. So let's start the session again. Right? Wireless sensor network, the components. Right? Let's go for the wireless sensor network, various components that is used. So again, I just want to show this image as we already discussed. Right? Now let's try to bifurcate this thing or the entire process in terms of different components. So the basic wireless sensor network components could be the sources, sinks, and actuators. Now let's see each of these one by one. Source means from where the actual data that is coming, right? What you want to measure, right? Source means the source of the data generation, right? So here it is written that the measure the data or report them somewhere, or it is a typically equipped with the different kinds of actual sensors. So we have seen many applications, right? So whenever I use the word, for example, if you want to for example, if you want to deploy this network, then your source will be fire sensor, because that fire sensor generates the data. When any activity occurs, that sensor node, fire sensor, that is the responsible to generate the data. So in this application, fire sensor that becomes the source. Similarly, if we talk about this one, gas sensor, that is the source. For this application, vibration sensor, that is the source. Right now, I think you got an idea. For here in these applications, uh, uh, location sensor or GPS, or you can say temperature, or sense it, what you can say, humidity, that could be the source. So I think I'm very clear about this source, what I am saying about the component source, right, that generates the data. As you can see here, it could be mic, but mic, if you are talking about wireless multimedia sensor network, for wireless sensor network, mic is not the right thing, right? Then temperature sensor or something like this. Now the next terminology, next component, let's look at that one, that is sync. Right? Now sync means, as we already discussed, where you gather all this data, right? So sync could be a kind of central device for the entire sensor network that gathers all the information at a single point, right? So source and sync, it is very clear, right? The third one could be having, you might have a problem, you might have a question about the third one. What do you mean by actuators? Now actually actuators are mostly, it is connected with the sync, right? Actuators, they take some action on the basis of the result that is received at the sync. For example, in many applications that we have seen, that when if we talk about this one, right, when vibration sensor gives the alarm or gives the signal that right now the bridge is vibrating with
Wait,
the health,
excuse me.
with, yes,
So there's a query in the chat box.
sorry,
There's a query in the chat box, sir. How much
yes,
energy does the communication overhead cost in WSN?
how much energy that is for the overhead?
Cost in WSN.
Okay, we will see after this one. Once we'll finish the component, we will look at that point when we'll discuss designing issues, right? So I will remember that point, but if in case if I forget, please remind me. So I was saying
Sure,
that
sir.
when the, any other question?
No, sir. Please continue.
Okay. So I was saying that when the bridge vibrates with the resonant frequency, at that time wireless sensor nodes will give the signal to the sync, and on the basis of
Sir, you are not audible. Excuse me, sir.
Am I audible now? Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I was talking about that if something goes wrong in this bridge, on this bridge, and if you able to ring the alarm, or if tolls on the road, or if you just ring the light, something like this, then that is an example of actuator, right? Actuator means you are doing something on the basis of the data received at the sink. So mostly it is like alarm or kind of LED blinking or anything, like you can take any action as per your expectation. So that is known as actuators, which is mostly connected with the sink. Right? So these three words or components are very important. The first one is source, second one is sinks, and the third one is actuators. We'll see source more in detail when we talk about wireless sensor node. Right? Let's look at this. What will be inside the wireless sensor node? So the wireless sensor node, that mainly includes all these things, as you can see in the block diagram, like transmitter, receiver or communication module, power unit, memory, CPU, central processing unit that does the processing, coordination system that is optional, right? Few nodes may have, few nodes may not, like location management or motion controller or network synchronization, right? And the sensors that will be attached, like temperature sensor, humidity sensor, or it may have such kind of interfacing ports where you can attach the sensors from external side if it is not inbuilt, right? And mobility actuation unit like motor, that is also an optional, right? But the major thing that you cannot miss, or the main thing that we need to involve, that is transceiver module, power unit, processing, right, and sensing, right? So wireless sensor node is capable to sense, it is capable to do the process, it is capable to do the transmission and reception, right? And for all these things it requires the power unit. Clear? When I say the wireless sensor node, I need to remember these four things: sensors, transceiver module, processing device, and power unit, right? On right hand side of the slide you can see the size of the sensor nodes, right? It is almost similar to the size of the coin, right? This much of small sensor nodes are also available. If I show you the next slide, you get surprised that sensor nodes are having this much of size also. So what type of sensor node you need to use, that actually that depends on your application. Many defense applications, they may use this kind of small sensors, right? You can see the with the help of, thanks to VLSI and with the help of other designing facility, the size of the node becomes very small day by day. And right hand side it is compared with the ant, and it is compared with the pen tip, right? Can you imagine this much of small size node that is capable to do the processing, sensing, and transmission and reception, everything? It is also having power unit, right? So this much of involved research work is already being done in the domain of wireless sensor network, right? So you can think over it in terms of hardware design, or you can think for software or protocol design for the wireless sensor network. Right. But hardware design for wireless sensor network is nothing but the pure VLSI concept, right? It is nothing much you need to know about this, the working principle and all these things about wireless sensor network, right? It is pure VLSI concept. If we look at the sensor node specification, this table gives the comparison between available sensor nodes. Out of these available sensor nodes, in many research papers, you will find the first two sensor nodes, Stargate and iMode 2, are widely used. Right? Many researchers they deploy the sensor network and they implement their own protocol on the nodes, and they take the readings and everything, right, with the help of these two devices, Stargate and iMode. Right? And the manufacturers of that one, that is Crossbow and Intel. You can go through the specification. I won't need to read all these things, but this is just for your information, right? You just have a look on this slide for around 1 minute or so. This is just for your information. Here in mode 2, you can see MMX means multimedia extension. 802.15.4, that means ZigBee protocols, standard. We will cover ZigBee standard in tomorrow's session. So you can choose any of these. Let me change the slide. There are a few more. So actually you can choose any one of these wireless sensor node as per your application, as per your requirement, right? Now, before we go for wireless sensor network protocols, let's discuss about designing issues. Wireless sensor network design issues. Any questions so far in wireless wireless sensor network components?
Yes, sir. There have been two. One from
Yes.
Manisha. She asks, how much energy does communication overhead cost in WSN?
Okay, Manisha, I'm coming to that one. Next question.
And the other question is from Soumya.
Yes.
She says, as shown in movies, hackers can hack and make fake data from sensors, but in reality, is it possible? If yes, is it the sensor it's been hacked or the sync?
Okay. Sync can be also hacked very easily, right? Sensors, it's not that much of easy to hack. The reason of that one, that actually when you hack anything, right, to hack anything into the network, you need to get connected with the network. Now in this wireless sensor network, your sync is connected with the network or may be connected with the network, right? But your wireless sensor node is not directly connected with the internet. So in most of the time, hackers hack the sync. And yes, it is possible, it can be hacked, right? But once you able to hack the sync, That means you can give the control, you can generate the control using sync over all the sensor nodes. So actually, once you get the control over the sync, that means entire network is hacked. So further, no need to hack wireless sensor node actually. Got it? And yes, when you are saying that is it possible, yes, hacking is possible. I will show you, we will discuss when we talk about ZigBee protocols, and when we'll talk about the implementation part, at that time we will discuss a little bit about the security also, what type of security these ZigBee protocols or ZigBee standards they are using, 802.15.4. right? That I will show you and we will discuss on that. Any other question?
No, sir.
Okay, so let's discuss about wireless sensor network design issues. Before I go forward, is there any other topic, as I told you in the beginning of the workshop, that is there any other requirement that you want to cover in this session, 2 days workshop, that might be helpful to you somewhere in your curriculum, or just an extra activity that you want to know or you want to do? Anything that you want to include?
Sir, if there is any data sheet about, I mean, some existing project you have done earlier, we would like to see like cost of every component and all. I mean, how much does it take to make a project? So we would like to know about that.
Okay, okay. Sure, I will discuss today itself, no problem. Any other topic or any other queries? Well, can you tell me how many of you are in, means you are in which semester, majority of the students?
There are students from all semesters, sir. First year, second years, and third years, fourth years as well.
Okay. And you are having that computer network subject in which semester? Fifth semester or later on or before the fifth semester?
It's an elective, sir, actually. Computer organization, did you mean that?
No, not computer organization. I'm talking about the computer networks.
It was in previous semester, sir.
Means third year.
Third year.
Okay, okay, no problem. So for those who are in first and second year, if you don't understand any terminology, feel free to ask, because many things that you don't understand at this level. Because to understand the wireless sensor network, the computer networks is a kind of prerequisite, right? So far we just discussed the basic concepts and bigger picture and applications, so it's okay if you will not have that much of question. But now onwards, when we'll talk about the protocols and layered architecture, at that time you might have many questions, you might not understand the few things, right? So feel free to ask if you have any question, otherwise I will not, means I will take it as grant. I don't come to know, right, whether it is known to you or not. Okay, so let's come on this wireless sensor network design issues. right? Few issues or few important factors and the challenges that we need to keep in our mind when we design the wireless sensor network, or I would say any network, right? Now, the first point is application specific quality of service requirement. Now, what do you mean by quality of service requirement? Many students, those who already studied the computer networks, you might have the quality of service on each and every layer, like quality of service of uh, data link layer, quality of service of physical layer, quality of service of network layer, quality of service of transport layer. So you will find entire chapter or sub chapter in almost every book of the networking about quality of service. So what do you mean by quality of service? Can anyone tell me any example that this is actually the quality of service for this layer? You can take an example of any network layer or transport layer or physical layer, any layer you can take, you can explain about quality of service of any layer. Any example?
Reliability, throughput.
Okay, but on what layer? On which layer? Okay, let me tell you that what do you mean by layered architecture actually? Okay, I will discuss more in detail about quality of service when we talk about the protocols. So at this point, just focus or just remember that you require the quality of service as per the application, right? Your quality of service should be the best as per your application that you design your wireless sensor network, right? Next point is very important. Everything that differs because of the second point I already discussed, that is low energy consumption. Now I'm coming to the answer that is asked previously for one of the students and Manisha, right? Lower energy consumption means what? Now here researchers are working day and night to reduce this energy consumption as much as they can. Now I cannot give the exact answer that this is the energy consumption done by the wireless sensor node. The reason is that energy consumption, if we talk about energy consumption, if we categorize the energy consumption, there are two categories. The first one is communication energy consumption. Second thing is computational energy consumption. Communication energy consumption means when any sensor node do the communication, when any sensor node either transmit or receive. Remember, to receive the data, to receive the packets, to receive the information, also sensor consumes the energy. So when any sensor node either transmit or receive the data or information, right, then the energy consumption takes place. That energy consumption that is known as communication energy consumption, because your energy is consumed because of the communication. Is that clear? What is communication energy consumption? If you are working for that one, that how to reduce the communication consumption, energy consumption, then the field is completely different, right? And again, another category is computational energy consumption. That means when any sensor node receive the data from the source or any sensor, right, it does the process and then it forward to the sink. For example, any sensor that is generating, for example, temperature sensor is there, right? So temperature sensor generates the output in some raw material in terms of few bits or bytes, right? So sensor node will create the entire packet, entire frame. Those who already studied the computer networks can understand easily. That means whatever data, whatever information that you are getting from the source, from the sensor node, you need to put into the frame, and those frame you need to put header and trailer and security, everything, and then it will be routed to the next sensor node or to the sink. Right? Am I correct? For those who are in first and second year, let me explain with the non-technical example what I am saying actually. Right? For example, your information is you are writing some letter. Right? When you write some letter at that time, for example, you want to write, I miss you. This is your message. This is your information. I miss you. Right? Now, where you can put this information? You will write that thing into some letter, right? You will get some piece of paper, some letter, you will get it, and then you will put that information on the letter. Am I right? But if I say, when I write down something, when I take a letter, if I write down I miss you, and directly you post that letter. If you post that letter directly, will it be delivered to the destination where you want to deliver? No. The reason is that one, that you need to put the address. Until you put the source and destination address, how the postman can deliver that post at the exact destination? So on that letter or on that piece of paper, instead of your exact information, I miss you, you need to put some extra information like source address and destination address, which is not actually the information, but you need to put it to convey your message properly. You got my point? So in this example, your address is not the data, but you need to put it. So this address is known as overhead bit. This address is known as overhead bit in technical term. Overhead bit means, in a simple language, it is not the information, it is extra bits, but it is mandatory, it is required to deliver the message. Right? Now, in this example, it should not be like that. When you write down the letter, your address becomes too large. If your address becomes too large, then the space will be less to put the information. Right? So our requirement is always there, such that how we can reduce, how we can minimize the overhead information. Right? So we need to work on each and every layer, and many research papers you will find that they are actually trying to minimize the overhead bits. If you can minimize the overhead bit, means then entire packet, entire letter will become a smaller. If your packet is smaller, that means you need to less things to transmit. That means your energy will be less consumed. Clear? Ultimately, everything that is correlated with the energy. Right? Second thing, let me give you another example of computational energy. Right? Whenever any sensor node does some process, so to perform that process, to do the task, whatever energy has been consumed, that is known as computational energy consumption. As you can see here, you are having a CPU, or you can say signal processing device into the sensor node. So your data will be converted in such a way that it consumes the less bandwidth, it consumes the less power, as well as it puts the security aspect. Right? Your data will be encrypted. Your data will be converted in such a way that you cannot, or interpreter or intermediator or eavesdropper or unauthorized person cannot use that data. Right? So everything that you need to do, so to perform that task, you require energy. Your sensor node energy will be consumed as per this operations, right? So to perform all this operation, whatever energy has been consumed, that is known as computational energy consumption. Your energy is consumed because of some computational work. Got it? So these are the two main category where your energy consumption takes place. So we need to take care about all these things at each and every step, how we can reduce the computational energy consumption, how we can reduce the communication energy consumption. Everywhere, if you read any research paper, you will find many research papers for this one. Right? And in communication energy consumptions, when you find out the root, we will see the example when we discuss the routing protocol, right? So I think tomorrow we will see more in detail about that, how we can or how we can come up with the protocols that consumes the less power, less energy consumption. Right? The next one is we need to think about the coverage area. If your sensor node is having more coverage area or large coverage area, that means sensor node is capable to transmit the data at the large distance. That means it has to consume more energy, isn't it? Any sensor node, if it is having, for example, coverage area of 100 meter, that means it has to consume more power, it has to consume more energy to transmit that information at the large distance. But if the wireless sensor node is having less coverage area, that means it consumes less energy, right? The node density. What could be the node density in your network that you need to think? We already discussed about node density twice, right? Scalability. Scalability means right now we are deploying the network with, for example, 100 nodes, right? And in future, if the expansion occurs and you need to add more sensor nodes, like for example, you need to put some 200 more nodes extra, then your network should be designed in such a way that you can easily add extra 100 nodes in existing network. You should not design the network starting from the scratch if you want to expand the network, right? So that is known as scalability. Clear? Scalability means your network design should be compatible with the expansion of the network. That is known as scalability. So these are the main challenges and factors that we need to keep in our mind when we design any wireless sensor network. One more point is there. It is very important for any wireless system, but it is not written here. I forgot it. That is bandwidth. Let me write it down because it's very important. You cannot ignore that thing. The bandwidth should be, you need to think about the bandwidth for any wireless network. How much bandwidth that the system or your network will occupy, right? because actually the bandwidth requirement that depends on the size of the data. But in wireless sensor network, the size of data is very less, so you don't require large bandwidth, right? It's just the signal that you are sending. So the bandwidth is not actually the major problem in wireless sensor network. Clear? That's why I didn't return, but yes, it is important. So I gave your answer. So energy consumption, how much energy consumption will be there? That depends on many factors. What type of node you are taking, what is the coverage area, what is the computational processing that it is doing, right? On the basis of all these criteria, energy consumption takes place, or it depends. Did I answer your question? But let me tell you that energy consumption, it will be in terms of millijoule and microjoule. It is in very less, it is very minor amount of energy that we need to consume or sensor node is consuming, but still researchers are working hard again and again to reduce that energy consumption, because if the energy goes down and if node becomes dry, right, then it is dying. That node will die and that area will become uncovered area. Clear? Any question? Any questions so far? Any question?
No, sir, no questions as of now.
Okay, so we'll stop the session here for today. Tomorrow we'll start with the wireless sensor network protocols. Right? So
Sir,
Yes, sir.
sir, let's ask participants to let's request them once if they have any doubts.
yes,
I,
sure.
gave, I have given unmute option to all the participants. If you have any doubts, you can unmute yourself and ask them.
Someone has raised their hand before. You can continue. Like you can unmute your mic and just ask the question.